everyone, I'm MJ and welcome to my booktube channel. This is my very first time doing anything like this, so as an introduction I thought I might do the new to booktube tag, which was started by Trina at Between Chapters. I'll leave a link down below to the original tag if you want to check that out, but let's get started. Question 1. Where are you joining us from? Australia, or Western Australia to be more specific. How old are you? 31. Why did you join booktube? Because I love books. I have always loved books, and I've never really had very many friends to go in-depth discussion with books, and I wanted to try something new. What types of books do you read / want to talk about here? Mostly classical, because that's currently what I'm really into and what I've been reading a lot lately. I have come out of a pretty long book slump that lasted a year and a bit, and I'm rediscovering my love of the YA genre, something I loved a lot when I was younger. So you'll probably also hear me talk a lot about that as I rediscover all these books that I probably would never heard of if not for booktube, and I really want to get back into that genre. Who are some of your favourite authors? I found this question really difficult because I tend to fall in love with stories above authors. I have some stories that I absolutely love and I reread them, recommend them to everyone. But I don't necessarily then go read the author's books if nothing else they wrote has interested me. That being said, if I had to pick one absolutely favourite author, I would definitely say an Australian author by the name of John Marsden. I especially love his way of storytelling and his portrayal of female characters. What was the last book you read? Once Upon a Time, a collection of classic fairy tales. What are you currently reading? That's quite bright. I'm actually not sure if you'll be able to see that. But I'm currently reading Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. But I'm almost finished it, so by the time I upload this video, I'll probably be onto Through the Looking Glass, both of them by Lewis Carroll. What do you use for bookmarks? Actual bookmarks! I do own some lovely ribbon ones that wrap around the pages, also ones that just slot in. More often than not though, if I'm reading a book, I will use what is available. Receipts, old movie tickets, ripped up bits of envelopes, notes I've been writing, post-it notes. More often than not, when I'm reading, my bookmarks either aren't on hand or they're in other books, and so I usually grab whatever piece of paper is available and just put it in there. What's your current TBR pile? Ooh. Yay, look at all these books I have to read! Okay, I have Wizard of Oz by Frank L. Baum, Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen. Embarrassing so, I've been trying to read this for the last few years, and every time I get to really around chapter 14, something has happened, I've been distracted, I've had to go do something, and I've just never got back to it. So if nothing else, I'm going to read this book this year. The Last Lecture by Randy Pash, and my only non-fiction in my TBR pile, The Secret Diary of Lizzie Bennet by Bernie Sue and Kate Roderick. This book is actually based on a web series by Pemberley Digital, which was a modern retelling of Pride and Prejudice. If that's something that interests you at all, I would highly recommend it, and I'll leave the link down below in the description so you can check it out. Mansfield Park by Jane Austen. And the Divergent series, which I have actually read the first 3 books, but I did that mostly while studying through audiobooks, so I'm really excited to actually reread them and pick out all the things I probably missed because I wasn't paying that close attention. And once I've done that, I'm really excited to read the book 4. So these are probably my only rereads in my TBR file. Which do you prefer, hardcover or paperbacks? Both. I mean, I like the look of hardcovers and they definitely do last longer, but paperbacks are so much easier to read, especially if you're in transit anywhere. Ebooks or physical books? Definitely physical books. I really love the tactile sensation of holding a book when you read, and I also like owning books. That being said, I have no issues with ebooks. I read a lot of them, and it's a good way to try and suss out what you really like. Owning or borrowing? Again, owning books. That being said, I will borrow books from the library. I think there's nothing wrong with it. It's a good way to suss out a book or a series to see if you like it, to see if you want to own it. And since I'm not rich enough to have my own dedicated library, it's always a great source of new books when you have no money to buy your own. What book or series got you into reading? As long as you remember, I love books. What book or series got you into reading? As long as you remember, I love books. What book or series got you into reading? As long as you remember, I love books. What book or series got you into reading? As long as you remember, I love books. What book or series got you into reading? As long as you remember, I love books. What book or series got you into reading? As long as you remember, I love books. What book or series got you into reading? As long as you remember, I love books. What book or series got you into reading? As long as you remember, I love books. What book or series got you into reading? As long as you remember, I love books. What book or series got you into reading? As long as you remember, I love books. What book or series got you into reading? As long as you remember, I love books. What book or series got you into reading? As long as you remember, I love books. What I used to read the books my sister would bring home from school. Some of my earliest memories are from going to the library with my mum and picking out new books, and I was always really excited. But if I had to pick one series, it would definitely be the Tomorrow When the War Began series by John Marsden. I don't fall in love with this series, and what it did was reunite my passion for books at that time, and it really made me step out of my comfort zone and go search out books that I would never have looked at just to give them a try. Instead of just finding books that I knew I'd like, I'd actually go and look at books that I wasn't sure about just to find a good story. How did you discover BookTube? I was on YouTube one night, and while I was aware people had channels, and I even followed a few of them, nothing was book related. I didn't even know BookTube existed, and I just literally typed books into the search engine to see what would come up, and I discovered all of you. So thank you, booktubers, because I've really enjoyed watching you all. What challenges do you think you'll face with your own channel? The fact that I always talk with my hands and I'm always doing this, and it's really, really hard not to wave my arms around while I'm talking. Other than the technical aspect, which is a concern, but I'm actually confident I'll pick up on that once I've done a few videos and figured out what works and what doesn't. The creative content and the scheduling, just because I'm always worried in the back of my mind I'm going to run out of things to talk about. And I have uni starting in March, so I'm just trying to get ahead and film as much stuff as I can, so when uni does start in March, that I will have a backload of things to upload while I figure out how that fits into my schedule. Where else can we find you? Feel free to connect with me either through Goodreads or Twitter. I'll leave the link to both those things down below. Come and say hi. I know my Twitter account doesn't look like it's very active, but I check it pretty much every day. Other than that, you can find me right here on YouTube. Well, that's a new to BookTube tag. I wasn't tagged by anyone because it's my first video, but if you're new to BookTube, or maybe you've even been around a while and haven't done it, I would encourage you to do it. It really makes you think about why you're doing what you're doing, why you love what you love, and lets people get to know you a bit more. So if you have any questions or anything else you'd like to say, feel free to make a comment in the margins down below, and I'll see you next time.